Hey Kara babes, it's your girl caradaze and welcome back to my channel.
You dig? Hey, hey, hey.
In today's video, we're going to be doing a scholarship talk and what scholarships that I personally applied to pay solely for college and basically get a full ride. If you guys are here, I'm assuming you watched the previous video, how I got into UT Austin / how I got into college. If you did not see that yet, go ahead and click the link right here. Check that video out and come right back over to this video. But now that you're here, I'm assuming you watched the first part of this College 101 series and you're here to find out the tea on what scholarships your girl applied to. I'm gonna tell you guys all the details, all the nicks, crannies, tea, every single thing that I did to get this money. Alright? So keep watching. You guys, so I'm not gonna tell you guys every single scholarship I applied to because that could go on for days because I literally applied to so many, it's not even funny. I lost count about how many scholarships I applied to. But I am going to tell you guys the big ones and more of the main ones and then like what you guys can do to kind of find other scholarships and within your area. And also I'm going to touch on the scholarships that I applied to that are solely UT based for anybody out there who are trying to get into UT and look for scholarships pertaining to the college that I'm going to. The number one scholarship I applied to, which many of you already know, is of course the Taco Bell Live Más Scholarship. This scholarship gave me $25,000. That is its largest prize. Obviously, if you apply, you can either apply for the $5,000, the $10,000, and then there's $25,000. When applying, I definitely did not think I was gonna get the scholarship. I was just kind of just like, you know what, I've applied to 1,000 scholarships, why not apply to this one? And I loved it because it wasn't essay based, it wasn't, oh, you have to have a GPA requirement, this and this and that. No. What I loved about the Live Más Scholarship is it was solely just passion based. But if you really want to know more about the scholarship, go down to the description box below, check out that video, and come back over here. I do love the scholarship. It's a great scholarship. It's open to anybody and everybody if you feel like you have any passion that you want to share. Number two, the second scholarships that I was getting more so in heavy bases is mostly local scholarships. So wherever you live, that may be in Texas, Houston, New York, wherever you go. There's definitely local scholarships. Even if it doesn't like seem very clear or it's not open to the public or the community, trust me, it's a Google search away, it's a ask a friend away, it's literally there. Just look for it. One time I was just talking to a senior and she was like, yeah, I applied to a lot of like East Texas scholarships, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing. And she's like, yeah, there's like a whole website. And I was like, oh, and there it is. So definitely wherever you're around, maybe look within the community. If you don't know and you're just like, bro, I just don't know, go to a teacher, go to an advisor, go to a principal, somebody who will just give you a little bit more information. And usually your high school will give a lot of information within like a counselor's office or a scholarships office, whatever you have provided to you. If you don't have all that, you can definitely just ask around in your community, see if there's any like foundations giving scholarships, anything like that, just within the community for like maybe your school or maybe where you live or so on and so forth. Next, of course, it's an obvious one, but if you do play a sport, it is very possible to get into UT or get into college in general playing your sport. I played sports, but I definitely knew I didn't want to do that in college, so that's not really a route I went. But I do know that the Foot Locker Scholarship is a thing, and that's basically centered towards high school seniors who play sports and their passions and giving them a scholarship for that. So that is something that I did apply to. I didn't get it, but it's definitely an option for people who play sports and are interested in something like that. There's also the Coca-Cola Foundation Scholarship. I applied to that one as well. That is a great scholarship. I personally didn't get it, but a lot of people that I know that did get it were able to go on, like, I think it was like a networking trip or something like that. But basically, if you get the scholarship, it's like a networking thing, so like they could bring you to people. I think they like flew my friends out to like Chicago or something like that. Don't quote me, but like it was something where like they were flew out somewhere and met the foundation and all the rest of the people who like received the scholarship that year, and I thought that was super cool. Another scholarship that works that way is also the Lid Moss scholarship, but since so many people are awarded the scholarship, it's kind of competitive who gets to like kind of be flown out to California or different places like that. So those are things y'all can definitely look into, and all that information will obviously be in the description box below. Another scholarship is pertaining to UT. You can definitely apply to first generation scholarship. That could go on at other schools as well, but I know that UT has a specific scholarship for students who are attending college for the first time on first generation terms. That basically you are the first generation within your family to attend a four-year university, and that's a really good scholarship. It's definitely supportive to a lot of people, so I would definitely say look into that. Also, if you're going to UT, I would definitely look into the University Leadership Scholarship. I don't know if that's actually applicable, but if your application does kind of show that you meet financial need and you also have been represented as a leader on your high school campus or something like that, or on your resume, I know that they definitely will recommend you for that scholarship. And that's a great scholarship too, because it gives you $500 a month. That's really great for someone who's paying rent or somebody who just might need the money for books or other things like that. Another way that I partly did fund my college is financial aid. Your parents have a certain income to house ratio, etc., then you definitely have a chance of receiving a Pell Grant or being awarded financial aid. To get financial aid, you do have to fill out a FAFSA. Basically, a FAFSA is something that you fill out, put in your parents' income, your parents' marital status, basically what your support system is, see how many people they're taking care of, and just kind of generates an amount of money that you could potentially receive if you meet that need. There's so much more that goes into financial aid as well. Obviously that doesn't include people who are maybe like adopted, or people who are in foster care, or people whose parents are in the military. There's a lot of different things like that that can kind of tie into all that. And so I definitely would say if you're interested in all that, go over to the FAFSA, read up on the requirements, and apply, and see if you are eligible to receive some financial aid. So those are the top few things that I personally did to fund my college career, but I know that there's so many more scholarships out there, you guys, and I'm gonna put a lot of them down in the description box below. I personally couldn't talk about them all in this video because this video would have been like 10 years long, but I did get on the main ones that actually helped me fund UT and paying off all of college with no loans, no debt. And you can do the same thing if you just really just look, literally look. The best thing I did was every day after high school, I would come home and I would apply to 2 scholarships. And I promise you, it is not hard to do. Just go on Google and say, high school scholarships for an entering college student. Something like there is money out there so much for people to take, and nobody wants to put in the work and actually just like look for the scholarships and apply for them. Like everybody just wants it to be like an easy thing. I'm sorry, if you really want the money, you gotta put in the work. Of course, nobody likes essay scholarships, but those are the ones you got to apply for. And the way I kind of finessed the system with that is I wrote like a main general essay, kind of like explaining my life and what I've been through, and then I wrote like a more of an educated essay, kind of like what I want to do through college, where I want to go, goals and all that stuff, and what I achieved in high school. And I got my English teacher, you can get anybody, it's kind of like look over it, critique it, correct it. And those were like the 2 general templates scholarship essays that I would use when applying to scholarships, because scholarship essay questions are kind of all generalized and kind of like, oh, why should you get this scholarship, or what would getting the scholarship mean to you, blah 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 blah. But basically they all say the same thing. And then there's those few that just want to be so specific, like if you got this scholarship, how would that impact your health or something like that. I don't know. But basically those were the scholarship essay templates that I used, and then I would kind of change it up for each individual scholarship I applied to. And that in itself just took some load off my shoulders so that I didn't feel like I was writing a new essay for every single scholarship I applied to. It kind of felt like I was just tweaking an essay I already wrote and then just sending it through. And that definitely helped me get through a lot of scholarships and apply to a lot of scholarships in a timely manner. One thing I would say is, if you are researching scholarships and you're looking at deadlines and you're waiting and you're like, oh, I see this scholarship, I want to apply to it, but the deadline's not for like another month, so I'll just like wait. Honestly, best thing I did was I had a notebook, or some people can do an Excel if you like to do like things more online. But basically what you should do is have a notebook or have something where you can refer to of all the scholarships you want to apply to, or that you're eligible to apply to, or that you're interested in, and then have their deadlines, because that'll kind of help you navigate which scholarship you should apply to over the other. Like, oh, okay, this scholarship's deadline is not for like another 2 months. This scholarship deadline is next week, you know? So that'll kind of help you prioritize and not get your scholarships kind of mixed up. And when it comes to scholarships and recommendations, I definitely feel like if there's a scholarship you want to apply to and you're like, I need to apply to this scholarship, right when you know you want to apply to the scholarship, definitely straight away start looking for recommendations. Start looking for people to like write you those recommendations. Honestly, if you really on top of your stuff like that, junior year, I just asked one of my favorite teachers and I was like, can you write my recommendations? And she was like, yes. And I think she was like my English teacher. So honestly, if you're really like, you're on your stuff like that, honestly, just find that teacher that you know this will be your go-to for recommendations. Like, this is my teacher. I will ask you for a recommendation and they will give you that recommendation, sis. Definitely do that. It definitely takes another load off of you. Same thing, maybe it'll be better if you can get 2 teachers. So maybe like one that's more of like a counselor or academic advisor, and one that's more of a teacher. If you're in high school, you definitely probably already have one, but if you don't, I would say as soon as possible, get started on making your resume, because it is so annoying applying to all these scholarships and they're just like, what activities did you do in high school? What award did you win in high school? Blah, 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 blah. Did you have a job? All that stuff. It just gets so tiring trying to manually always fill it in. And then honestly, sometimes you can forget some stuff, especially like way back freshman year if you're like a senior and you're just like, I don't remember like half of the stuff I did back then. Like, so definitely as you're going through high school, write down maybe like, oh, I volunteered here, or oh, you know, I played this sport for a week or something, you know? Just kind of keep on track with things that you're doing, and then have it on a resume preferably, to where you can just send it to those scholarships, or if they want it manually put in, you have something you can refer to. That is definitely gonna make the load of applying to scholarships so much easier. But yes, you guys, those are the few tips and tricks and little finesses that I definitely did whenever I was applying to scholarships for college, and I really hope that they help you guys as well. If you guys have any questions on scholarships, applying to scholarships, getting scholarships, comment them down below and I'll be happy to answer them for you guys. Or you guys can DM me on Instagram or Twitter and I'll definitely get back to you guys. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful in any way, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because I have more College 101 videos on this series. Next video will be, I've been accepted to college, now what? It's the summer before college and like, what do I need to be doing? Like, do I need to be doing anything? Like, y'all, I got you with the questions, all right? You know, I got you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. This out. You know you gotta click that